How y'all doing?
All right, everybody got their balance? Nobody's falling down? Okay. All right. It's Coach Price, wide receivers coach.
How y'all doing?
Ready for questions.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you knew to go for this UTSA days. What made you sign on to this project here?
Yeah, dating back to UTSA, Will trusted me in his room, hanging out in his room when I was the director of player personnel, and he had his first opportunity to coach receivers. So we built a great bond in that. And then when he transitioned into the OC role there at UTSA, I became the receiver coach. We created a cool bond from a coaching standpoint. So I'm super excited for him being able to have his first opportunity to lead a program, especially in the SEC, and it just made sense at this time in my career to move forward with a guy that trusts me and I trust him, and it's a great opportunity.
What do you look for to find a receiver? Like what prototype? What does a good receiver look like?
Yeah, a guy that plays with a ton of passion. Obviously receivers come in all shapes and sizes. We try to build that room kind of like a basketball team. So as you look out there, you see some big guys, you see some, not so big guys and some guys in between. But ultimately we want a ton of speed on the perimeter. We want to be able to have the ability to take the top off the defense. But then, we want to help in the run game and be able to be physical, on the perimeter too. We're just talking as we left the field. Two things that we don't want to coach is energy and effort. So when I'm out looking for guys, I'm looking for guys who play with a ton of energy, have great effort, a lot of passion, and then the skills, we'll coach that as we go.
It's sort of like the theme of this group. Like, are they an athletic bunch? Or are they a very energetic bunch? What's sort of the theme of the wide receiver?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, right? We got guys coming from all over, and we're kind of piecing together what we want our culture to be in the room. Obviously, we want to complement the culture of the team, so we're working on that connection within the room, and then allowing them to create the culture that they want. So, we call ourselves the paper chasers, and ultimately, obviously in this football environment, you can capitalize on your abilities on the field, but we're student athletes. We want to chase a degree as well. But really, we're talking about accountability. Again, playing fast and physical on the perimeter, and just really showing up in any way we can to be able to help our team win.
Coach Stein said that a lot. Spring ball has been a lot of good on good, one-on-ones type of thing. Who from your group has really shown out, whether it's a big player, just like you said, the energy and effort, who's really stood out?
Yeah, I hate to call out any one individual that might be getting me in trouble in the room. They'll be on my case. But as a group, I would say definitely different dudes have stepped up every day and shown they have the ability. Now, what we're working on in that room is the consistency, right? Like, this is a grind, right? I mean, the SEC is the best of the best. We want to create a room full of guys that show up every day with the same type of energy and effort and execution.
Feel like receiver in that 2-week portal window was the position where there were a lot of twists and turns in what you all were trying to do. How did you feel like that all played out and the group finally ended up?
Yeah, I felt like I got baptized into Power 4 recruiting. I think they said we had 66 official visits within like a 12-day window, and I would say about a fifth of that was probably the receiver position. We had a lot of holes to fill. What it did was got me up to speed at what the expectation is for recruiting in this league and in this program. But also it allowed me to just meet a bunch of different guys and kind of decide who was the best fit for what we're trying to do moving forward. I feel like we came out of it with some really good players, right? Some guys that are looking for opportunities to grow, some guys that haven't had opportunities, and this may be the one they can capitalize on, and then some guys that just fit. So we're excited about the guys we brought in.
DJ was the one real piece that you all kept. What have you seen from him on film last year to what he's doing this spring, and what's the next step?
Yeah, just like others in the room, he has tremendous upside. We had to recruit him too. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is the thing that gets lost in recruiting as a whole, retention. Like, it is just as important to recruit our own roster as it is to go out and find new players to add to it. So keeping DJ and all the guys that decided to stay was super important.
Through deep ties to Texas high school football, how much can you lean into that state? This is obviously a lot of guys come out of that state.
Yeah, I as a former high school coach in that state, it is really important to try to succeed in this venture as a college coach. I think The guys back in Texas that coach high school ball, they're cheering for me, and they're trying to aid me in my pursuit of having a great career as a college coach by sending me their best players. So those ties are really important. But most importantly, man, it's creating ties in new places for me. I spent most of my career in Texas, so being in this region, I'm getting a chance to visit a bunch of states within a 5 to 6 hour radius, and I'm making new connections. So the more connections we have, obviously, the better allotment of players we have to choose from to bring in to make our program successful.
Talked about the recruiting and the retention. Obviously, at a certain point, you started moving forward with what you thought would be your group, and then you got a late addition of Hardly Gilmore back to the roster. What has he brought to the room, and what are you excited about? Maybe Steve this.
Yeah, man, Hardly is awesome. That dude loves football, and I can figure it out with people who love the game. So I think he's super grateful to be back a part of this program. He spent a lot of time in this city. I'm super excited to have him as a part of our group. And the passion that I'm talking about that we want in the room, he plays with that relentlessly on the field. So I'm excited about his future. We're going to continue to grow him on and off the field, and good things are going to happen for Hardly.
Seen a lot of receivers across the country make that jump from FCS or even Division II to this level in the portal. What does Shane Carr have to do? What's the challenge?
I think what's been great for Shane is to be able to get in with the strength and conditioning team, everything off the field, strength and conditioning, academics, nutrition. I think he's put on some good weight since he's been here. It's when you're in the portal, you're looking for pieces, and what he brings is a guy that has had production in the past. So he knows how to catch the ball. He knows how to make plays with the ball in his hand. Now we're teaching him how to play at this level, and he's taking on the challenge. So I'm excited about his future too.
How big was it to bring in a guy like Nick Anderson if you've done it in the place? Obviously, it wasn't SEC when he was in Oklahoma, but he got a little taste of the SEC last year. So it's like to have a guy like that on your roster.
Nick's a pro. The way he carries himself, the ways he goes about his business, what he's doing is he's bringing the mental level of focus in that room up tremendously. And then, again, all these guys that are coming in from different places, they're wanting more. I think this is a great opportunity for not only Nick, but anybody who's come in to have an opportunity for more if they approach it the correct way.
Your office guy, Brock, that Coffman went to Louisville, came back in his hometown.
Yep.
What does he add to that group?
Smart guy, really smart guy. Has some position flex. It's early, right? Again, we don't really have a depth chart, so we're mixing and matching and putting guys with different groups to see how they fit within the offense, within the scheme, trying to team them up with different quarterbacks to see where there's a relationship there. But Brock, as well as all the guys that we brought in, we're trying to really elevate their game mentally and physically. But Brock's tremendously smart, does some really good stuff, makes smart decisions. He's going to help us.
What's your early impressions of Kenny Benchy and working with your guys, trying to build that chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, he's as good as any guy I've been around. I think you see him in the building all the time. I think he always has a gang of quarterbacks with him wherever he's going. So whether it's Kenny or anybody else, I think we're going to be really good in that room. Obviously, with Will Stein and Joe Sloan leading the charge on the offense, the quarterback position is going to be elevated tremendously, with whoever's out there. But Kenny, he's done a really good job, being a great leader for that room in our team, our offense.
Harvey's always going to have that distinction as the first high school recruit you guys got when you got here. That brings some pressure to him. Just makes the young guy out there.
I don't think he feels any pressure. I think he feels a tremendous responsibility to do well. Just like all the freshmen, they've had some growing pains, right? The volume of offense that's been installed, the pace of play, things like that. But what I would say, Kenny and the other 3 or 4 freshmen that are here have done, since they're all relatively close in the dorm, they get up here together, they watch film together, they study together. It's kind of a little small accountability group that's going to help them in the long run.
At the position coach we spoke about there, they talk about, there's no depth chart, they're working on consistency, but they're excited about the potential of their group. What about your group as you excited for what they can become during the spring and going into fall?
Yeah, I like to think, I personally coach with a lot of passion, and I try to show the things or show as an example the emotion and passion I want them to play with. I think the hard coaching they've received, they responded really well to it. You know, the question I've asked them, hey, if I told you if you do this, you got a chance to make $1 million, would you do it? You know, it's a realistic question. You know, I could have said that 5 years ago, and the only $1 million they could have made was in the NFL. Now I can say that, and truly, they can really double their opportunity to create revenue for themselves if they just buy into what we're asking them to do. At the end of the day, man, like, you know, them playing well helps me, helps our team, helps Coach Stein, helps everybody in the building. So my goal is to encourage them the right way, to play the right way, so they can, you know, ultimately change their lives.
I was supposed to ask for someone who couldn't attend today. They wanted to know the origin story of East Side Joe.
Oh, Lord. Well, I'm from the east side of Houston. You know, I coached at Galena Park High School and North Shore High School, which are both in the Galena Park Independent School District in East Houston. I like to say that, you know, when I was younger, East Houston wasn't really talked about a ton, you know, in terms of sports. It was always North Houston or South Houston. And then North Shore around like 96, David Amon got that program going, right? John Kay took over and kept it going. And our mantra just became the East Side. So when social media first got going, I took that as an opportunity to really push our kids at North Shore, and everything we tagged, it was East Side, East Side, East Side. So all the coaches in the coaching community in Houston, whenever they would see us, they go, "What's up, East Side?" You know. So as we move on, you know, all the guys that have had success from that program. You know, if you watch the coaches that have been there, when they have success, we just simply hashtag Eastside, put that on social media. So as we move, my friends that know me well, what's up, Eastside Joe? That's kind of how that goes. So I feel great, tremendous pride about the city that I'm from, the state that I'm from, all that stuff. But, you know, I want to make sure I represent, you know, the East Side and the whole city of Houston really well wherever I go. So.
All right, Shane Carr.
Yes, sir.
Is everybody ready? Okay, questions for Shane.
What's the biggest difference between the FCS level and playing the SEC?
Basically, like the biggest separation for me was like competition wise and like coming in, all the hard working and like lifting and everything was for sure a big difference for me coming from the FCS.
Can you already see kind of the benefits of
Yeah, I got here like maybe 3 months ago. I came like 2 weeks late to school, enrolled late. I gained like 15 pounds already since I've been here, so it's been pretty good.
What's your story? Why do you think you ended up at that smaller level out of high school and now getting a job?
I kind of put myself in that situation because in high school I played a lot of sports. I played baseball, basketball, track, and football. So like I didn't have a primary sport where like I was sending film out to coaches and like just get exposure basically. Like I didn't go to any camps. Like, I just did a lot of sports in high school. So I didn't like really send my film out to anyone, and that like didn't give me any recognition. So I had my agent in high school send film to a small school like Southern Utah University that I was at for 3 years, and they gave me an opportunity and I took it.
To proving yourself, you already have at that level, so you can now prove yourself at this level.
I feel like I have way more potential, and no hate to FCS, but like this is the highest level. Like this is baby NFL, so basically like it's the highest development level in any college. What should I say? Division in any college division. So yeah.
Did you have like a wow moment when you first got here that things are different?
Yeah, I still do. I'm not gonna lie. Like every day I wake up, I just thank God for the opportunity that He gave me being at the SEC, because a lot of kids in this world want to be where I'm at today.
We've seen lots of receivers across the country make the same jump you're doing successfully the last few years. Were you paying attention to that and seeing like that guy's doing it, so I can too?
Yeah, to be honest, not really. I just always worked hard as hell. Always wanted to be the best guy in any situation that I was in. So that just put me here, and I've always worked hard.
Obviously now there are opportunities to make money in college football and Coach Brush said paper chasers.
Yeah.
How much do you guys lean into that and kind of promote that?
It's an everyday thing, man. If we're not chasing paper, we're not doing nothing good. So that's like a motto for us, like receivers. Like if we're not chasing paper, we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Coach Stein said a lot of kind of spring ball's been good on good, one-on-one. So how's that benefited you in your growth here with SEC? And who's a guy maybe in those one-on-ones that you really like that against?
Oh yeah, it's a big difference from like the corners and everything, like size wise, where I was at, like scrawny, like smaller guys. So when I got here, like they were way more physical, bigger at that, and like it just took me some time to get used to it. But I'm making plays now, so I feel like I for sure got used to those new DBs and everything. But a guy I feel like that's really been working hard. Well, I got two guys or three maybe. D Mark, D Gardner, say to Ryan, and Grant for sure.
I feel like you fit in the offense. It sounds like they're moving receivers around a lot. Are you a slot guy or an outside guy? What do you?
Yeah, I feel like I fit in this offense a lot because like I'm very versatile. I could play outside and inside and run any route. So I feel like that's really why they brought me here because I could play both.
Football being brought here, what was it about this coaching staff at this university that kind of made you like to play?
I'm here. I used to watch Oregon, like really every team that threw the ball a lot because I'm a receiver. So I watched Oregon a lot, and I didn't even know Coach Stein was an offensive coordinator at that time. And when I found out, I just knew like it was going to be a lot of passing in this offense. So I just took the opportunity and looked into it, see all the coaches that came here, ETSA, our wide receiver coach, Joe Price. He had 4 wide receivers go to the NFL. And then Joe Sloan came from LSU. There's so many dogs at that school. So I just looked into it and feel like this was the best opportunity for me to be great.
What are your impressions of quarterbacks?
My impressions are very high. It's a big difference. Like, because FCS is not, and not every quarterback is good. When you come to the SEC, you're getting paid to play quarterback. You're getting paid to play receiver. So like, they're for sure way better.
Okay, questions for Brock?
Ross, how's it feel to be back home?
It feels amazing. Growing up, I've always been around the fan base. You know, I've been a UK fan, and then I went into high school and the recruitment started, so I was kind of had to back away from that, not choose any favorites. But it's amazing being back. You know, all the support and love, being here, knowing that a lot of people have my back. It's comfortable.
It feels like we're at maybe the weirdest stage of the Kentucky-Louisville rivalry. You can hear a bunch of guys went that way. The coaches obviously have been. Just how has that all been like?
Honestly, it hasn't really took a toll on me, honestly, because I've kind of been focusing on what's good for me. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's a business, so you have to make the right decision, what's going to benefit you the most. And I feel like I've been on the right path that's going to benefit me in the best way.
What is it about Joe Price that you like and what you like that?
He has a little humor to him. Like sometimes he like to mix in a few jokes, and he's also a good teacher. So I feel like it's been good being able to, you know, learn the new plays, have him coach us up in his certain ways that he's took from UTSA, and all the guys that he's developed. He's came here, and now he can, you know, have the guys that are in our room. We have a pretty talented room and help develop us. So good guy.
What's it been like working with Kenny?
It's been awesome. Fun fact, me and Kenny, when I first got here, I came here probably like early January maybe. And we were like talking about how my birthday, like it was February 18th, and we were trying to plan something out to do. He was like, oh, no way, we had the same birthday. So me and him share the same birthday, February 18th, which is kind of crazy. But me and him have been able to develop an on-field and off-field relationship to where we could just talk to each other whenever, you know what I mean, ask if I have some help about plays or anything. I feel like he is a great leader. He leads everybody in all different types of ways, pushing us to be the best. So I really appreciate him.
Spring right now, you guys don't have a depth chart, so to speak. So how does that work in spring ball and getting everybody out?
So this is my first spring because whenever I was in my other school, I came in during the summertime. So getting to experience it this way, I feel like it's awesome. It gives everybody opportunity to be able to showcase their talent. We have a lot of talented receivers, like I said. So we have 2 different groups. We have blue group and white group, and then you'll have orders from there, like so when you'll go in, and basically you just rotate blue group, white group, mixed group, and then they'll change it every other week. basically just rotating, getting you with different guys so you know what it's like to play around everybody instead of just certain people.
You said, it's kind of a business, and Coach Price said that your group calls themselves the paper chasers. So
Yeah.
how's that kind of mentality when trying to chase that paper? How's that?
I know some people probably think about it as like chasing money, but like when people say like get money, like let's get money, that means like let's go, let's go, like let's get. I would say let's get paid, but like that's kind of like the same thing. But it's just like a mentality of like let's go win. You know what I mean? Let's go do what we need to do, get in and out, and do our job, and then yeah.
What kind of contact did you have with the previous staff? Were you ever close to coming to Kentucky out of high school?
Well, they recruited me. They started recruiting me like my sophomore year in high school. I came to a lot of camps, games, whatever. And I was pretty close with them. It's just some things didn't work out. And then I ended up committing to Ohio University. I was going to play safety. And then Louisville came and then offered me like the week before our state championship game when we played in here. It was like the day before I committed. So then I flipped and I went to Louisville, play receiver. So
What was it about this specific time that made you feel like, hey, it's the right time to go back to Lexington?
I feel like the change in the coaching staff, we came and got a lot of different guys, Ohio State, Oregon, LSU, and also Coach Sloan and Coach Stein is a passing game. I'm a receiver, so I love to hear all the accomplishments that they've done. They put a lot of quarterbacks in the league, and the only way quarterbacks can go into the league are throwing the ball. So I feel like that's going to benefit me in a great way. Like I said, it's a business, so I'm thinking for myself. So I think that it was a better move for me to come here.
There were a couple of guys you really liked to battle on the other side of the line.
On defense?
Yeah.
I usually move around, so I'm inside and outside because, like I said, we don't really have a depth chart, so we got to rotate guys around to see where each other fits. But probably say from inside, Andrew Purcell and Ty Bryant. And then for outside, I say Grant Grayton and Rye Nichols.
Talked about going to Louisville, obviously, the red shirt route versus college
Yeah.
football. So you got to play a little bit of games there, but what would you say is the biggest thing you gained from red shirt and going through your college football?
Knowing the pace and the way the game is supposed to be played at a higher level. It's a lot of attention to detail with knowing plays and coverages and breaking in and out of the huddle, fast pace, tempo and stuff. You just learn how the game is played. You know what I mean? And the only way that you honestly learn how to do that is from time. So being within the program that I was at for the time I was at, it benefited me to help me become the player that I am today. And I can take my skills that I've learned from there and come here and use them.
What did you learn from playing for Chad Pennington?
Oh, great guy. Chad Pennington. A lot. I started playing football. I wasn't really, my whole life, I was basketball and baseball. And I never really played football until I got to Sayre. And I started playing football my freshman year. And Coach Pennington convinced my mom to let me play. And it just kind of took off from there. He's a great guy. He's taught me a lot of fundamentals. He's taught me a lot of things outside of football too, just like how to be a greater man. And I feel like he's helped me develop into the person I am today, helped me with connections on and off the field, and just being, honestly, a mentor. So
There aren't as many athletes in high school now playing multiple sports
Yeah.
as there used to be. How do you feel like that helped you, and what do you kind of incorporate from basketball and baseball that goes into the football side of it?
Well, I caught punts at Louisville. I actually caught the punt. I caught some punts against UK last year. Playing baseball I played center field, so you can relate that to catching punts. You got to read the wind sometimes. You got to see where the ball's going. When the ball's high up in the air, it's just like catching a fly ball in center field or trying to track a ball in center field. So I think that's helped me out a lot. I'd say in high school, whenever I played basketball, like whenever I played defense, I feel like basketball helped me a lot. Like with playing defense, because you're shuffling, you're moving laterally, and in football, you can use your hands. So I feel like there's a lot of different movements, like in playing different sports, and just honestly being an athlete. You know what I mean? Just trying different things whenever, like doing things that you're uncomfortable with so you can become comfortable with them is just something that has helped me out a lot.
Are you returning kicks or punts at all?
Yes, punt return, yeah.
About on your bio page, one of your favorite quotes is "There's no bad days, there's just lessons." Or
Yeah, it was like that.
where did you first kind of hear that, and how has that been applicable to you through your sport journey?
Honestly, it was a while ago. I think I was just scrolling on my phone and I saw it, and then I was like, wow, I was like, this like it really hits deep, because I feel like if you focus on lessons instead of like, oh, I had a bad day, what can you learn from it is how you are going to get better each and every day. So I feel like if I have a mindset like that, then it'll help me develop into the place where I want to be in the long run.
Are there any spots or anywhere that you've taken the non-Kentuckian guys that they just have to see?
Honestly, not recently, but when it gets warmer, I'm gonna show them around. Whenever Keeneland opens, I'll take a few guys to Keeneland. I think I'm gonna go to the Derby this year. It's just crazy because I'm from Kentucky. I've never been to the Derby. And then probably it's like Kings Island or something. There's not like a lot of stuff. I mean, there's stuff to do in Lexington, but there's more stuff to do outside in just the area, like around Kentucky. Food places. We went to DV8. One of my people's owned that spot. It's nice. I know we get Wing King on Red Card. So Wing King is solid. Where else? Oh, I need to take a few guys to Big Blue Deli. Big Blue Deli. That's the spot. That place is really good. And I know the workers, so he'll show us some love too. So, yeah.
Brock also takes the team to gymnastics and volleyball and basketball. And
There you go.
Yeah. Gotta support.
All right, anything else? All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.